Sokka's a war criminal. Huh. Generic intro to Dr. Goosem here, back with some more Overanalyzing Avatar. Today we have the Northern Air Temple, which I believe was a really sad episode. Not actually really sad, it was just kind of like one of those the sadder episodes in Avatar, in a children's show, where it just kind of got really dark for a moment, when it also has just like stupid moments where like Zuko, or was it Zuko that had the little helmet fall on his butt and it made the little weird sound? I think in an early episode, like episode 2 or episode 3 or something like that. It came from that kind of comedy to finding out that everybody you knew is dead from Aang's perspective. You want to check my reaction to The Deserted, which is the last one I did? I'll leave it right up there. Also going to link down below in the description. You can check that out. Thank you so much for the support you've shown this series. I read every single one of your comments, leave them down below. Try to upload 100 videos this month, so these videos are going to come out every single week, but there's just going to be a ton of other videos coming out as well. Patrons get my videos day early. It allows me to not have a paywall on the channel, because I'm here to make you smile, not make you pay. I'm trying to make people's day better, regardless of whether or not the video is monetized, people watch it, or whatever. As long as people are enjoying the videos, I'm going to be uploading them. So thank you so much for being here. Kemp Dog is going to leave a great comment down below in the comment section, as well as a bunch of other people are going to leave some really great comments and some Avatar trivia as well. But I'm excited to jump into Northern Air Temple and see what Overanalyzing Avatar's perspective is on this. But it should be interesting. Let's go ahead and get on into it. Alright, not a generic intro at all. A very nice intro.
Gravity.
Jingle,
Gravity.
jingle.
What? What?
So
Why is he the
roots
bug?
around in his clothes there, like not his pockets, which means there's just like a bug on him under his parka. He takes this
Oh.
realization very well.
Yeah.
I'd be less than okay with
Is he gonna take that? I don't even remember this. I don't remember this part at all.
Much obliged, little bat thing.
What
Little
is
bat
Momo
thing.
anyway?
A
I know
lemur?
his actual species name is a winged lemur, but there's only a few animals in the show that don't go by both of the names they're the fusion of. Sky bisons aren't called manatee bisons, thank God. Momo probably
Wait, would
is
it
a
be
lemur
manatee?
bat based off of this one shot from book 2. I
Oh,
guess
the
the answer
teeth?
I'm looking for is lemur bat, but the colloquialism would probably be winged lemur.
What are you prattling about, child? Great grandpappy saw the airwalkers last week.
I don't even remember this.
So wait, were you
scene.
just soliciting money from your own grandfather for his own story? What
Yeah,
the hell,
what?
man?
Yeah,
Remember
what?
when I said Sokka whittles? Yeah, he whittles. He's interested in things. He has hobbies. Anyway,
Is
my
he-
question
oh,
is,
more
what the hell
whittling.
is that? It's a squirrel
yeah,
something.
durable?
Chipmunk detective.
Chipmunk?
It's interesting that this mountaintop air temple seems like it's the most heavily constructed
Oh.
of the other two. The other two have left room for natural space and greenery, but this one seems to engulf the entire mountaintop, even if it might only be
Oh,
some
this is the
saddle.
one with the kid that's in the wheelchair. Oh, I thought. Okay, no, I got this confused. Another one. My bad.
I like this
My
little
bad.
competitive grin Aang gets here. The last time he probably ever got to stunt on some poor kid on a glider was before he even knew he was the Avatar. This
Yeah.
is probably a bit of escapism for him
Forever
back
ago.
to those times, even if he seems pretty unimpressed with Teo as it goes on.
Hey there.
He's
you're
unimpressed.
pretty good.
And I'm getting a phone call.
Hell yeah, Aang, talk your shit.
But I can do more than fancy gliding.
Fancy gliding, you
Okay,
control
I
the
get
air.
that you're trying to show this kid up, but it really doesn't read well if the first thing you do after saying you're cooler than a paraplegic kid involves
He doesn't know
running.
he's paraplegic.
I know the point is that no one else can do this, even if they
I mean,
could
he did.
walk or run, but still, you know, oh, it's a bad fucking look, dude.
No,
Another
it's not a
obvious
bad
one,
look,
But it
it's
cuts
great.
from Teo's
It's funny.
sky drawing of Aang's face to Aang actually making that same face. Big dumb ears and everything. I really like how they don't make a big deal about Teo being in a wheelchair. Like, no one even says anything about it until the Mechanist mentions it offhandedly later when he explains
Yeah.
why they're there. I feel like little inclusivity stuff like that really sticks
Kind
in
of
the
weird
back
that
of a
the kid
viewer's
kind of just
mind.
took over an air temple, though.
This place is unbelievable.
Yeah. It's great, isn't it?
No,
Not great.
just unbelievable.
Ooh.
This is supposed to be the history of my people.
Yeah, I'm
Yeah,
not
I
sure
mean, you
why
probably
they
could
destroyed
have
the walls.
rerouted this pipe so as not to take this guy's head off. Just like disrespectful, man.
Yeah.
Come on. Okay, for real. Am I the only one that always thought these circles were eyes and this was some eldritch Lovecraftian horror of a sky bison? I'm pretty sure
No.
after looking at it right now that those are supposed to be like tufts of fur. But
reminds me
seriously,
of that
I
Yu-Gi-Oh
thought for
monster
the longest
Pegasus
time
used.
either the airbenders had some many-eyed bison god or the Mechanist was way too into body horror.
It's nice to see at least one part of the temple that isn't ruined.
Isn't ruined.
Look out!
And ruined.
What
He
the
should definitely
doodle?
get mad at
Don't
him.
you know enough to stay away from construction sites?
How'd
Okay,
you know it's
first
construction
of all,
site?
you were on the other side
Also,
of that
if any
wall,
of it's
so
ever
how did you know
blurred-
to yell look out? Secondly, you can't
It's
be mad
because
at them.
copyright.
This is your
They get
fault.
blocked.
If this is an active construction site, you need proper flagging and signage and PPE.
Correct.
I'm calling the fucking Department of Labor on your ass, buddy.
This
OSHA.
whole place stinks.
This is one of the very few conflicts in this show that I think is highly one-sided. This whole place does stink.
My people
Yeah.
became refugees after a terrible flood.
I don't care if your village got flooded. I
just
wouldn't walk into
happened.
Machu Picchu and install air conditioning. All my
Machu
town got
Picchu.
burned down. Better go install satellite TV into the pyramid.
I
of Giza.
mean-
Are you kidding me? me, you absolutely have to have respect for this stuff. And if you don't, then yeah, you're a jackass.
I
Does
see
he even, like, remember the Airbenders? I mean, he wasn't alive.
The monks? But you're 12.
That's a highly accurate guess, Machine
Yeah,
Man.
why does he know?
And I stumbled across this place. Couldn't believe
How
it.
many bald 12-year-olds have you
Everywhere,
seen?
Pictures of flying people, but empty. Nobody home. Then I came across these fan-like contraptions.
So
Like
are
his
you
staff.
just not aware of the air nomad genocide? The murder of an entire culture?
He's
You're
completely
playing dumb
exactly.
here?
He didn't know about the
Also weirdly
Airbenders.
in this scene. Look at this. That's not Aang's staff. I know I call it a
not.
stick
No,
as
it
a
was a
joke all the
stick.
time, but
It
it's
is a
actually
stick.
downgraded to stick here.
Yeah, it's not
We're
even
just
the
in the
staff.
process of improving upon what's already
Improving?
here.
I've got absolutely no love for the Mechanist. He's got a sob story that doesn't justify the total lack of tact he uses in his
No.
construction
Yeah,
projects.
no.
I don't think he's funny or likable. And we're not even to the part where he shows his true colors yet. In this show, you
Oh,
can see
yeah.
some of the hermit crabs in the foreground, the same ones that Aang uses as a metaphor at the end
Pretty
of the
normal
episode.
hermit
Man,
crab.
inside this entire episode. This would be entirely fucked. He's got nothing. His entire people are rendered from the face of the planet, and these guys are just willfully disrespecting his dead culture. Personally, I'd be totally up in arms. I'd be like, get the fuck off my mountain.
I mean, it's not
Okay,
technically his
so
mountain.
you're
Well,
buying
actually,
all the way
maybe.
down here to see an empty room.
Wrong. It's filled to the brim with natural gas.
So this place is an explosion waiting to happen.
So
Yep.
this is made out to be a big deal, right? But later in the episode, they purposefully set it off, and I mean, no
For some
deaths,
reason.
no visual damage to the temple. It's just
Somehow.
not that big of a deal, it turns out. Yeah, I mean, you have to do your due diligence and plug the holes, but it seems like
And
it
you had
going off
to
is
direct
pretty
the blast
negligible.
the right way. Something would definitely fall. Or that place was built that well. 100-year-old ruins that are able to withstand the explosion from its foundation.
I'm flying. Teo was
Don't
right
crash.
about the air. All I had to do was trust it. Let it carry me.
Even though Teo's not an airbender,
He's not an
he
airbender.
really does have the spirit of one.
Did he learn how to be an
I've been
airbender?
thinking, if you want to see what's in that room, I'd be happy to open the door for you.
Great.
This is a
Oh,
little
yeah.
weak for Mang, I think.
And then
We
they
need to
open
move
the door and
episode
find some
forward,
stuff
but,
out.
You know, would Teo being a happy-go-lucky, carefree kind of dude really get Aang to the point of opening the door? I don't think so.
Maybe.
He's, had a
I don't-
really
he's
rude
a
awakening
kid.
to
He
this whole
looks
tribe
friends.
disrespecting his culture. I think it should probably take
Also,
a little more
the
than
CGI
that.
there,
Like, and you'll miss it.
'cause
The
in Raw.
Mechanist seems to be working on the schematics for the drill here. That's pretty cool.
Oh!
And that egg was just
Whoa.
part of last week's lunch.
The egg he's talking about was actually in the basket of the air balloon model with a little smiley face on it. Aang gets pushed back from his own airbending move here just a touch. Might be the only
Does
time
he?
we ever see that without it being the primary purpose of the move.
Huh? Oh, yeah, look at that. Fire Nation. Yeah, the hot air balloon
You
Fire
don't
Nation.
understand.
How did you even get in there?
You're making weapons for the Fire Nation.
That's a pretty
Yeah.
good twist. I'll give you that. The
It
line
is.
"You're making weapons for the Fire Nation" has always struck me as like strangely adult. It's like in shows you really only see the fighting, right? You only see the face of the war machine. You don't really see the cogs that turn it. I just
Yeah,
think
or
it's an
the
interesting
people
angle
that
on the side
are
of the war
betraying
effort
others,
that's not usually
or
explored.
refugees.
You're making
Kinda like
weapons
that.
for
Yeah.
the
You see
Fire
refugees,
Nation.
but you don't really see. And then commercial. And Sokka's gonna come back.
You make weapons
Yeah.
for the Fire Nation?
Every time!
Sokka, that is exactly what was discussed just before.
He
the
mentioned it in a
commercial
couple
break.
episodes, or
It
last
was about
episode,
a year
yeah.
after we moved here. Fire Nation soldiers found our settlement.
How did they even get up there?
You were too young to
They climbed
remember
banks?
this tale.
This brings up an interesting
Like,
point.
was it a
So
year ago?
Teo's people have been shacked up here since Teo was a little kid. Zuko's been looking
Oh,
for the
little kid,
Avatar for
okay.
nearly 3 years at this point. Zuko in a season 3 flashback says this.
First, we'll check each of the air temples. Then we'll scour the world, searching even the most remote locations until we find him.
So if we're
Okay.
to believe all these things are true, Zuko definitely rocked up on these guys a few years ago looking
Yeah,
for Aang.
so they know Zuko.
probably met the Mechanist. It's just a little observation for you, just a little
Probably, I would
overanalyze.
say.
You
But it'd
need
be
to
kind of
leave.
unlike
Go.
Zuko
We're
to tell him
not
to
leaving.
make weapons,
Then
though.
hide,
Maybe it'd be an
quickly.
Iroh thing.
This is a weird moment. We're not leaving, but all right, we'll hide. In this one split-second shot, Chin's hair is all disheveled, even though it has no
Okay.
reason to be yet. And then it's back to normal in this shot. When Aang
Yeah.
hits him with a good old air slap, his hair gets
Then it
messed
gets
up.
messed
So I feel
up.
like these two shots might have been in a different order at some point.
Obviously.
In development, or maybe they were just two different animators working on the scene. Who knows?
Probably.
I've heard this sentiment that Sokka is actually the one that invents hot air balloons in this universe, which is just false, right?
No.
The Mechanist has blueprints, a model, one almost built.
A
But he
lid
didn't know
is
how it would
actually
work.
the answer. If you control the hot air, you control the war balloon.
Sokka walks
Yeah.
in and helps with the finishing touches and gets it to work.
Yeah,
but
he
saying that
took
he
it from a rough
actually
draft to a
made hot
finished
air
product,
balloons
but
is
no,
just,
he did not.
It just seems like it's not right, right? He says it himself. He doesn't even take credit for it.
You know, a friend of mine actually designed these war balloons. No kidding.
Oh, and we're gonna
I thought
talk
he said
about
that's
the
rough, buddy.
submarines too once we get there. Don't you even worry about that.
Okay, we got 4 kinds of bombs. Smoke, slime, fire,
Slime.
and...
Stink.
For Nickelodeon, I
Never
guess.
underestimate the power of stink.
All right,
Stink's
we've
bad.
kind of discussed the stink bomb part, like with the eggs and all that. That makes sense. But where did you get all the slime exactly?
Yeah,
You just
like
have a bunch
what?
of slime ready to
Does it
go?
react to the snow, maybe? This is a reference something.
Okay, this is bad. Aang, they're dead, dude. If you didn't crush them with the snow, they'll suffocate in it. And if
Or
not,
they'll fall
they're
off
not
the
in
mountain.
anymore, I'll tell you that much. This is like tens of people, dude. You
Yeah,
can't do
Aang
that
just
and then
killed
act all high and
people.
mighty in the finale.
And I've only had to use violence for necessary defense. And I've
Really?
certainly never used it to take a life.
So they use 3D models on these tanks, right? And some other stuff later in the show. And my
Yeah.
question is, why do I think this works? Am I just used to it? Old
guess it
bad
does.
CGI is usually pretty jarring, but
But
it is
this isn't,
stylized
no.
somehow. Like if you see old bad CGI in a live action movie, it is bad news. It looks awful.
Yeah.
But maybe it just works better in an
I mean, I see
animated
CGI
environment.
in,
There's something that makes my brain
Attack
think
on
it's a
Titan right
non-issue.
now.
I don't really ever hear it talked about either, so I guess it just works. This is the show's first attempt at a really big battle, and it's underwhelming big time. It doesn't really feel like a battle. To
No,
me, it's
you
almost
don't
like
really
a
get the
problem-solving
zoom out
exercise.
scale
No
of
one
it.
really feels like they're in immediate danger, if you know what I mean. Aang and Katara can pretty comfortably just stand in the middle of the battlefield and do whatever they want. No one that's
no one's
fighting
gonna
ever
stop.
gets shot at. Its stakes are high because it's a group of people's home that's on the line, and it's Aang's cultural and ancestral home. But the action really doesn't match the stakes.
Those things are unstoppable.
Are they
I think
really?
I know how they work. I remember my dad tinkering with the counterbalancing system. Something to do with
You remember
water.
that?
Works great, huh?
Teo, stop
Water?
being stoked on your dad's weapons of war.
Where's that war balloon?
All right, here's another big one I've been wanting to talk about forever.
Big war balloon.
crime. I've heard so many
War
takes that
crime?
the Fire Nation is a bunch of war criminals just for fighting a war. This is false. I'm not saying there are no war criminals in the
It's
Fire
not a
Nation.
war crime the
I'm
first
sure
time.
there's plenty. But I've heard people
I
call
think the Fat
Iroh a
Electrician
war
said
criminal
that.
for being a general. Or for laying siege to Ba Sing Se. Those aren't war crimes. You want to know what straight up is a war crime?
What?
Using the insignia of the opposing military to gain an advantage. That is a war crime.
Oh.
In black and white in the Geneva Convention. Iroh's a war
Oh.
criminal? No.
Sokka's a war criminal.
Smell that?
Huh.
Rotten eggs! There! That's where the gas is escaping!
How many rotten eggs did you put in that room? So many
A
that you
lot.
can smell it 100 feet in the air? During a
Well,
military
maybe that was
battle?
just the smell of the gas.
All right,
Oh.
that's funny. Score one for the Northern Air Temple.
I realized it's like the hermit crab. Maybe you weren't born here.
Pretty normal
You
hermit
found this
crab.
empty shell and made it
That's
your
actually
home.
probably
I
not.
don't know, man.
might
I
be
still
a
think
spider.
Aang has
I don't
every
know.
right to be pissed about what they've done.
He should.
But if he's cool with it, I guess that's pretty cool of him.
I mean, they're only mad because it got caught, you know?
This defeat is the gateway to many victories.
Well, here's the long-form setup for the Day of Black Sun. Good thing
Yep.
this is in here,
No war
otherwise
balloons.
we might be on the Great Divide levels of filler. I've never really been a huge fan of this episode, and after watching it with my overanalyzing switch flipped on, I think
how many
it's
times do you
even
have to
worse.
watch an
I don't
episode,
really
I
see
wonder?
anything redeeming about this episode. These videos are my honest opinions, and I've been totally fair to each episode up to this point, so I gotta be honest about the negative ones too. I don't think anything works. The Mechanist is unlikable from the start. They try to justify his motives with the Fire Nation, but even if
No.
that works for you, he's still just being a dick by destroying a sacred cultural place. Teo is bland as hell. I bet you didn't even remember his name until I said it.
No, I didn't know it.
Episode, right?
I didn't
He's
know.
a nice kid, just not very interesting. And like I said, the finale of the episode, the battle, the action
Is just
piece,
what?
just
And the
doesn't feel
explosion.
like an action piece. Just nothing about this episode
Fair.
works. What does work is my Patreon.
Patreon.
If you want to see the next full episode
apparently
of
his-
Analyzing Avatar and help support
his
the channel,
tears are
it's
just
only
hilarious.
6 Canadian shekels to join up and be a homie. Special shoutouts go to my top
It's
patrons,
$3 per
Code
month.
Connect,
I'm doing
Derek
100
Cornwell,
videos this
Teal
month,
Mutual Aid,
and
Fred Sullivan, Mana, Nicholas
$3
Abbott,
gets you
Thiago
96
Nascimento,
of videos there,
Ricardo
only
Marto,
for just
Skylo,
already
Super Sniffer, and
Twitch
Parker
mods.
Gas. Thanks a lot, guys. Next up is the Waterbending Master, which is like night and day between these two episodes. The next one is
gonna
the
be good.
absolute highlight of the season, and I'm excited to get into it. See you then.
I'm looking forward to that as well. It'll be out next week. Make sure you subscribe so you don't miss it. Like I said, I'm trying to do 100 videos this month. So there's going to be a lot of videos for a while. I'm doing it all myself. I do all the recording, all the editing, all the thumbnails, and I read every single comment. And everybody's worried about my health. There's only one way to find out. There's only one way to find out if I can do it. I've had a headache for the last week and my chest hurts, but it's only December 3rd at the time of recording. But I can absolutely do it. I feel like I can. And, you know, this will be the only time I ever upload 100 videos in a month. This is me saying, this is the most I will ever do ever. I will never do more than this. This is the absolute worst case scenario. This is the most I can work. I mean, it's not really worst case scenario, just the most. This is my maximum. This is the absolute 110% that I can do, because before I already do more than most people do. But if you become a patron, $3 a month gets you all of those videos 8 days early. The price does not change. $3 a month. That's it for 100 videos or 96 videos. But for $3, that's cheap. That's like 3 cents a video. Like, and you honestly, I mean, I watch every single video, and they're really enjoyable. I don't upload bad videos per se. Like, they're all pretty enjoyable from my opinion. But I enjoyed this episode of the Overanalyzing Northern Air Temple. I kind of completely forgot about the opening scene. I remember the little kid in the wheelchair, and I knew about the balloons and stuff like that, but I don't really think of this one and go, when I think of Avatar battles, I don't think of the Northern Air Temple battle. Not at all. Not at all. It doesn't even come to mind. Aang killed people. That's obvious. And Sokka's a war criminal. So I hope to see you next video. I hope to subscribe. But until then, take care and cue the music.
We were